So hi guys, welcome back to episode number 2. This week we are going to look at the January transfer window and grade each team to see how they did. And then we're also going to go through the last weekend's games and the week's games, and then also look at some of the weekend games to see who we think is going to win, that kind of thing. Well, without further ado, let's just get into it.
Let's do it.
So, 30th, last Saturday.
Yep.
It wasn't the best day. It wasn't the best day. Considering the most exciting game was West Brom versus Fulham.
That was a good game, to be fair. I watched that.
Yeah, it was. I don't get it. It was a good game, but that like I said, that was about it. That was the best game.
Yeah. Game went as expected.
Yeah.
I was surprised with the Newcastle one, to be fair. I thought
Everton were going to do it.
Yeah, but then Callum Wilson's obviously been on form, been their main player this season. Yeah. Everton just didn't really show up. I thought Calvert-Lewin might have been able to do something, but I suppose with Lascelles and Fernandes, is it? Or is he injured? Lascelles and Fernandes, they're quite big lads. He'd probably not be able to dominate in the air.
Yeah, so, it's just...
Yeah, they did well. City struggled against Sheffield. Well, didn't struggle, but they won.
But then again, Sheffield United would still have had the confidence from the United win.
Yeah, definitely. It just shows that, maybe they're pretty decent after all, after beating United.
Well, I think it was just they needed to get a Premier League win under their belt to get the movement going. Because obviously
that wasn't the first game they won. United wasn't the first game they've won.
Was it not? I saw it was.
No, that was the second win.
Was it? All right. I apologise.
Billy Sharp scored a penalty against someone. Who was that?
I don't know.
They won 1-0. Billy Sharp scored a penalty. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, United was their biggest win. But yeah. Yeah, Sheffield,
Newcastle.
Since then... Oh, well, there you go. Sheffield are looking better, but then again, so are Fulham. West Brom are doing okay, Palace are doing okay, Newcastle are starting to do a bit better. So just when they've started to do better, everyone else has started to do better. Yeah. So the luck's not really on their side at the minute. They need teams like Newcastle and Fulham and West Brom to drop those points, and they even draw or win, and then they'll slowly climb up the table.
But then again, if Sheffield had been able to get a point from that City game, then West Brom and Fulham both dropping points, considering they drew with each other.
Yeah.
Could have flung them up. Not necessarily high up, but it would have been, a bit of a stepping stone to getting out of the relegation zone. Yeah,
it's crazy how much the bottom three are off the pace. Because even Fulham, who are 18th, 8 points off of Burnley. It's surprising. I'm surprised Newcastle are that far down. Wolves are that far down.
This season's been a mad season overall.
Yeah, it has been crazy.
Liverpool getting beat by Aston Villa 7-2, United getting beat by Tottenham 6-1.
Yeah, let's not bring that
and then it's like, then you go the other way, and Liverpool are beating people. They're winning
7-0.
7-0
against Palace. Yeah, and then United. What happened this weekend? This weekend?
Yeah,
it wasn't even weekend.
This week.
But what happened this week? Yeah. So that was we could talk about Arsenal and United, but again,
there's not much
that game is sort of what I expected. I expected United to win because off their earlier in the season, obviously Arsenal won 1-0, but Man U have been in better form. Arsenal haven't really recovered. They've been doing better, but still not amazing. I fully expected United to win, but it was just the sort of usual draw that I think everyone else sort of assumed would happen.
See, I always thought that United was going to nick it. Just one of those kind of 1-0, or 2-1, one of those kind of results. But nothing kind of happened. It was just nobody really got going.
Not really. Cavani had, the chance in front of goal that I don't know how he missed it, but you can't really blame him because he's been doing well, in other games. I don't know. I would have been annoyed if we'd have lost it. So I suppose a point isn't, terrible.
No, because but I thought United would have been able to bounce back, especially from Sheffield United.
Yeah, I was hoping that we would have been able to, but I was just hoping we didn't lose because that would have
Yeah.
absolutely messed it.
Yeah, that would have sent you into not necessarily a spiral, but it would have been that's the thing. It could have.
Yeah,
Moving on to Sunday. So
Yep.
Sunday was a little bit better.
More goals, yeah.
Yeah, 2-0 Chelsea Burnley. 3-1 Leeds Leicester. 3-1 Liverpool. 3-1 Liverpool West Ham. That kind of went the way it was going to.
Yeah.
But then Brighton beating Tottenham 1-0.
I know they've been doing very well.
It was. But then Brighton was just a.
Sorry, go
on. Brighton was just an early goal, and then they just sat back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Brighton do well. I mean, they've got the good defenders at the back, Dunk, White. Well, them two doing well at the back, and Burn as well. And with Tottenham just counter-attacking, if they can just stop every counter-attack, Tottenham won't score. So, they did well. They got the 3 points, and they're slowly climbing up the table.
Yeah. Brighton seems to be a bad place to go for Mourinho at the moment with Tottenham. I don't think has he won there yet?
I don't know.
I don't think he has, because I think was it last season. It was when. That wasn't. It was literally just before he went there.
Oh, okay.
But that was the one when Hugo Lloris broke his shoulder or whatever.
Oh yeah, his elbow bent backwards. I remember that. That was nasty.
Yeah, it was horrible. But yeah, like you said, Leicester Leeds. That was a bit of a. It wasn't.
Yeah, Leeds.
It was more. It wasn't a shock result. It always could happen.
Yeah.
But on recent form, you would have thought that it would have been Leicester beating Leeds 3-1.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the two main men were out for that game, Jamie Vardy and Wilfred Ndidi. Is it Wilfred Ndidi? Wilfred?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I might be talking about Boney then from that. Yeah, both of them two. You replaced with Mendy and I think, didn't they put Harvey Barnes up front?
Yes, they did.
Because Iheanacho wasn't playing. So, I mean, Harvey Barnes did score, but yeah, Leeds, all round, Leeds were just solid. In defence, they played really well. And then up front, they were just on form. Bamford striking again, did well.
Did he get he got an assist as well, didn't he?
I think so. I can't remember who for.
He got 2 assists.
Oh, wow.
So it would be for whoever scored the goals, which was Dallas and Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, it was more. I think Leeds always have the possibility to just bounce back.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they know they messed up last week, so they'll make up for it this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it just almost seems like it's. Don't get me wrong, it's nice football to watch, but I wouldn't have thought that would be a good way to play football.
Yeah, especially in the Premier League, it can be risky, but going forward, they're clinical. It's not necessarily that they're amazing going forward, but they're clinical. With Patrick Bamford on form, they get the odd penalty. They don't win by a hell of a lot, and I know the back shot is that they can lose terribly, but when they're winning, if you win 50% of your games, you're doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think that's like we said last week. I think at the moment it's just a case of survival, because getting the money then to stay in the Premier League, attract more players. Then you're able to climb up the table as a steady process.
Yeah,
because the last thing you want is to shoot straight up the table, and then next season, for example, waste everything, and then fall down the table, and then end up falling back into Championship.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want a roller coaster. You want a steady progression, which I think. Say Leeds finish, I don't know, 12th or 13th this season. Next season, I could see top 8, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then the only one last game on Sunday, Liverpool game again was going the way it was going to go that way.
Yeah, definitely. Salah just showed up and showed what he had to do.
Yeah.
That little chip over the top.
Oh,
Amazing. Yeah. The
the
little
ball,
touch, little chip.
the ball over, little touch, and then
It was brilliant.
wow.
After that goal went in, I just thought, yeah, Liverpool have sort of got this now.
But then the Wijnaldum goal was a very good team goal.
Yeah.
And I thought
That's what Liverpool are good at. They're very good at sort of coming from nowhere, progressing it from the defence to the midfield, and then just quickly turning it on, quick pass into the striker. Midfielders run into the box, little tap, bang.
Yeah.
They're good at that.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, they won the Champions League in the Premier League, but playing that way.
Mm-hmm. It's not worked out amazing this season, but they're still doing okay. I think what happened last season is that the games that they're drawing now, they were winning. Just like you'd see the game that they would win 2-1, 3-2, but now those games they're drawing. So it looks like they're doing a lot worse, when in reality, last season, I think they just did really well. Whereas now, this is probably what they would be doing.
Yeah.
And with all their injuries as well,
yeah,
they're having to rely on some players that no one's ever heard of, and having to not panic buy, but because that guy from Schalke's a good buy, but that other guy from Preston, I think, was a panic buy, just to give a bit more depth. He's not necessarily going to be starting week in, week out, but I think he's Turkish, Ozkun or
Tunisian.
Oh, Tunisian. I think his name's Ozkun from Schalke, the centre back. I think he'll partner not Van Dijk. He'll partner Fabinho until Van Dijk probably comes back, and then it'll probably be between that Ozkun and Gomez for the first place centre back.
Yeah. We'll move on. We'll get on to transfers later on, because obviously, like I said, we'll go through everything. And then moving on to the week's games, you got Sheffield United beating West Brom 2-1. That's a vital win for Sheffield.
Definitely 2 wins in a row as well.
Yeah. And then you've got Wolves beating Arsenal 2-1. Well, 9-man Arsenal.
Yeah. Both of the red cards were... Yeah, go on, sorry.
Well, David Luiz's red card...
It wasn't a red card.
Yes, it wasn't. If there'd have been... The only reason why it's a red card is because he's the last man and he's taken him out on a goal-scoring opportunity. That's the only reason why. However, when you look at the replays, he brushes... He actually... I think... Is it William Jose's boot stud brushes Luiz's knee?
Yeah, and then he falls over. Yeah, it's not a red card. I think you give a yellow card and a penalty. It is a penalty. You can't deny that. I watched the AFTV tie deluded moments against Wolves, and he was like, "I was at a penalty. I was at a penalty." I was thinking, "Well, it is." And then when he got sent off, he was like, "What about Moutinho? What about Moutinho?" He's deluded. But I mean, it was a penalty. Maybe not a red card, but then I mean,
no, it was probably going to, like you said, like the only reason I can see it being a red card is because he was the last man to start denying a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
However, wherever else that is on the pitch, you get a yellow card for it.
Yeah, exactly. That tends to be the pattern when it's in the box, because it's more crucial and more denying of the goal-scoring opportunity. It is going to be a red. I don't think you can really argue with it, because David Luiz shouldn't have even put himself in that position. But that's what David Luiz does. I was thinking,
what the hell do you do? Just let your keeper come and get it.
Yeah, he was pretty close to the keeper. It would have been hard if he'd have stayed on his feet to be able to put it past him. But I mean, David Luiz does that all day. He'd rather, make himself look stupid than,
Yeah.
But then you go on to Leno's goal. Leno's red card.
What was he thinking?
I don't even know what he was doing. He just practically punches it out of play, and then holds his arm down there,
and then pretends that he's headed it.
Yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Stephen Taylor from Newcastle.
Yeah.
When he flipping put his arm out on the line and then pretends that it hit him in the side.
Like bends his back in half.
Yeah. It's like, really? Especially, why would you do it now, where you've got VAR, where there's cameras all over the place, and it's going to catch you out?
Yeah, but he's not. I suppose he's just trying anything just in case.
It was just a bit of an odd thing. It's like,
Yeah, I didn't get it. But, I mean, it's a good job they just got that Matty Ryan, isn't it? Because otherwise
Yeah.
they would have had to be playing Renarson and goal.
Well, he ended up winning goal.
Who, Renarson?
Yeah.
Jesus,
I
I'm
don't, I don't
surprised he
think. I
conceded
don't.
any
Yeah,
more goals.
I don't think Ryan was. Ryan was even in the squad.
Jesus, that Renarson's terrible. But
Well, yeah, because he didn't. He was the one who played again. Was it Chelsea in the League Cup?
no, Man City.
Man City, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, when Riyad Mahrez scored that free kick, that was
And
just
it literally just went straight through his hands.
just went straight through. Yeah.
We'll leave the big score for now.
Okay.
Crystal Palace beat Newcastle 2-1.
Yeah, I mean it's not really a surprise.
The surprise is the first two goals. They were really good goals.
I'm trying to think. I can't even remember if I saw it.
John Joe Shelby getting it on the edge of the box and just smashing
yeah.
But I mean, that's what John Joe Shelby does anyway. For some reason, I don't know why, but whenever he seems to turn up, he always ends up scoring goals like that.
I mean, I swear he scores like one of them a season, and everyone's like, "Oh, he only scores screamers." It's like, well he barely scores.
But then you say barely scores, but then if he scores screamers,
yeah, but he doesn't do anything else.
No.
That's like what people. Let me look up quickly. John Joe Shelby. Considering, I don't think he's a defensive midfielder, is he? He's supposed to be like a box to box, isn't
he? Yeah, sort of. I think, but then I think he's transitioning more into defensive midfielder now.
Yeah, because he can't do the attacking.
Well, especially in that Steve Bruce side.
Well, that was his first goal of the season.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if he's played. Has he played all season?
He's played 14 games.
All right.
So he's played the majority of them, and that's his first goal this season. And he's only got one assist this season. So 14 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Which is
maybe not the best return.
Captain. Yeah, he was the captain in that game as well.
Yeah, maybe not the best return then.
Not at all. Yeah.
But then that I'm going to pronounce this really wrong. Riederwald,
yeah. That was another good goal. I mean, again, I know he came from, is it Ajax or Feyenoord? I think it's Ajax.
Oh look, but yeah, he's been pretty good this because he scored. I think he scored. Did he score against Fulham?
Yeah, I don't think that's his first goal. Yeah, he scored 2 goals this season.
And he's played 57 games for Crystal Palace. He's been there since 2017. You moved from Ajax.
I mean, yeah, when he first joined, he didn't get much playing time.
He was going to be in the under 18, under 23s.
Yeah, but he's been playing. I think he's been playing okay this season.
Well, he's playing in the defensive midfielder role. I think his
Milivojevic injured.
No, he was playing with them because they're playing a 4-2-3-1 with him and Milivojevic in the defensive mid, or sort of in the midfield, and then having Zaha, Ayew, and Eze in front of them and in attacking.
Then big boy Benteke up front.
Batshuayi was playing.
Oh, they missed a trick there. Should have had.
But they did bring Benteke on.
Good lad. That's what I like to see.
But that Eberechi Eze, I'm telling you, he's a good buy.
Well, yeah, it's no denying that he was a good buy. I mean, I haven't seen many of his games. He reminds me a lot of Zaha.
He's a good player. He's very he's able to move around the pitch very easily. He spots holes in the play and he can run through them and things like that. He's got good ball control, good skills and things like that. His passing as well is really good. I think he's sort of similar to Zaha, but he's not really as attacking, like a kind of like a striker as Zaha.
No, I was going to say that he looks good on the ball, but off the ball you don't really notice him. Off the ball, he sort of stands around, not really doing much.
No, but then as soon as he gets the ball, he's able to quickly turn and create something.
But he's not always like, what was that goal that he scored? That solo goal.
It was from like his own half.
Yeah, he was practically standing left back.
I think
but
it
why is he even
was
in
it
that
against
position?
Wolves?
Might have been, actually. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was. Yeah, but he was practically standing left back when he got the ball. Why is he even in that position? I know it worked out for him because he scored, but he shouldn't even really be in that position. He should be higher up the pitch, or even a little bit more central at least. But I mean, it worked out for him. He's doing well. He's linking up play. I think it only works with Palace because they've got such a defensive midfield already. If they didn't, he would be exposed a bit more.
It's a unit at Palace.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you had, I don't know, say if he was like one of three in the middle, he would definitely be a lot more exposed. And he'd have to do more work, which he definitely wouldn't do. I can definitely not see him coming back, tracking, doing anything. He's definitely the sort of person just to get the ball and just run with it and then forget defensive duties. I can definitely see that. Yeah,
like Palace it's a defensive unit. Like that's what Hodgson was. He was, this is we defend as a unit, like a team kind of thing. Yeah. And like you said, because he knows the safety of what's behind him, I think he's not so bad. Mm-hmm. But then we move on to to what could be arguably.
Well, I was just going to say about him, he sort of reminds me of Pogba a little bit.
Oh, yes.
He's more attacking than Pogba. But the fact that Pogba can do nothing for 60 minutes, do that one over-the-top through ball, look amazing, get the ball and dribble it past about 6 players and just ignore the defensive duties. And I think Eze looks not better, but it works more in that system because he doesn't have to come back and sit in defence. Whereas Pogba, because he's got Fred and McTominay, they're not as defensive as Milivojevic and who was the other one? Riedewald.
Yeah.
And then, MacArthur and McCarthy. It looks good, but I think as soon as he's asked to play maybe a more holding role, he's going to struggle.
Yeah.
But then again, will Hodgson tell him to play a holding role when he is an attacker? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think Hodgson knows where he is.
Yeah.
And being a man of that age as well, Hodgson, I think he understands players. So I think he knows how to get the best out of some of them.
But say inevitably he'll probably join a bigger club.
Oh yeah, it will probably be someone like Tottenham or Arsenal.
I was going to say Arsenal. I could see him playing for Arsenal. But then in that 3, he'll just get exposed again.
But then again, it's like the current Arsenal setup. Then he's replacing people like Emil Smith-Rowe. He's replacing Odegaard, who's just gone. Who else? Willock, if he comes back.
Ceballos,
but I don't think he's not going to stay. He'll be going back to Real Madrid, and to be honest, it won't surprise me if Arsenal do sign him at some point permanently.
What, Ceballos?
Yeah.
Well, I I only watch Arsenal occasionally. I don't really see.
Only because he's been on loan to Arsenal 2 times in the past 2 seasons on loan. I see him unless Zidane sees something in him for Real Madrid. I think he's a surplus to requirements there.
But I think he's surplus to requirements at Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal should be trying to get that level of player. They should be pushing for more. I know they can't in the current circumstances, but if they want to act as if they're a big club, which they are, but if they want to promote themselves as being a big club now, they should be looking at Ødegaard and not Ceballos. You can see the difference in those two. You can see one that did Ceballos really even play for Madrid when he was there?
Sort of, but not enough.
Not really.
Not enough to be a...
Yeah. And then Ødegaard last season, he played quite a few games. Or this season, sorry. So, they should be trying to get...
I think, like you said, Ødegaard is a very... The thing is with them as well, it's like Is it Odegaard about the same age as us?
I think he's 21.
Yes, he's around the same age. He's around the same age as us, so he's still got so much potential.
Exactly.
And it won't do him any harm going to Arsenal to go under Mikel Arteta, because learning from someone like that who's been at Pep Guardiola's assistant, it'll help Odegaard and things like that, and he'll be able to actually learn some of the other stuff from some other players.
Yeah,
and I think he'll go back to Madrid a better player.
That's true with him, but in terms of Ceballos, who is in exactly the same situation, he's a few years. He's what, 23, 24?
Yeah,
he's a few years older. I can't even see him getting into the squad at Real Madrid. But then I don't know why Real Madrid want to loan him and not just sell him. But then I don't see why Arsenal would ever want to buy him. I mean, they probably will because he's been there for 2 years. But
yeah,
I don't know where he stands. I mean, a lot of the Arsenal players, they're not good enough to play for Arsenal. Say 15 years ago, if those players were coming through, I could maybe imagine one of them getting through, maybe two.
Well, I think some of the younger players in Arsenal squad, like I said, like Saka, Emil Smith Rowe, some of these, but then it raises the question of, are them two the only ones playing for the badge because they've come through the youth academy?
No, I'd say there are other players. I'd say Leno does. I'd say Kieran Tierney does.
Yeah, Tierney definitely does. Tierney
he understands what football is and what it means to people. He understands that, obviously being from Celtic.
That's what I was going to say. When you're going up to Scotland, seeing how much the old, especially the old firms, seeing how much passion. Well, I say passion. It's more aggression.
Yeah,
it's put in the crowd. It's put into them games. You can't not come away from Celtic loving any kind of football, whatever you play for.
Yeah, 100% true. I think the problem with Arsenal that they have more players in their squad now that aren't playing for the badge than are. Yeah. Whereas with Arsenal, their thing is like they play for the badge, they're passionate, they love the club, they know what the fans are all about, they want to die for the fans. But now it's like people. It just doesn't seem there.
You couldn't imagine, for example, Tony Adams, for example.
Oh, if Tony Adams was the player he was now, there ain't no way he's staying at that club.
Ray Parlour.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that's crazy.
Well,
Martin Keown, Ashley Cole.
Yeah, anybody who was in that Wenger era, especially like the early 2000s, sort of to the early to mid 2000s,
they'd be giving everyone a kick up the arse in that team.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And moving away from Arsenal.
Yeah, having a bit of a rant on them.
Yeah. before we get too involved.
Yeah. Having DT and Ty calling us up.
Well, if you mentioned DT and Ty, I think we might have to mention Mark Goldbridge for the next one.
Whee!
United win it beating Southampton 9-0.
I know, that's something.
I got a feel for Southampton. Is when did Leicester beat them 9-0 last season?
Yeah.
So, 2 times.
I know. And it couldn't happen really to a nicer team.
Yeah.
Like, they're sort of a very neutral team, other than maybe Leicester and maybe West Ham.
Yeah.
They're a very neutral side in the league. And, I mean, I was very surprised. I looked at half-time and it was 4-0. And I just thought, oh, my God. I thought United might go in the second half, maybe getting 2 more. And I thought that would have been a ridiculous result.
Just sort of relax. You think got 4 goals at half-time. Right, boys, we don't need to go too much.
Don't humiliate them.
Let's just say. Well, it's more like, I think it'd be more. Let's save ourselves for the weekend. Yeah. Let's just relax.
But they clearly didn't think that. They clearly thought this is a chance for Martial to get goals.
Oh yeah,
he bagged 2. He doubled his tally this season just in that game. He had 2 goals before that in the league.
But it was just one of the ones we have to talk about is the offside decision.
I didn't even see that in the highlights, but I saw on thingy. It was like part of an arm, but then the other, it was like Harry Maguire's arm and Shea Adams' arm.
Yeah. Look,
but I don't get that.
See, the issue is that everyone's saying is the fact that it was so close. But my view is VAR is there to sort it out. It's either you're offside or you're not, no matter how close it is.
Yeah, it still shouldn't be a debate.
Yeah, you're either offside or you're onside, and the only reason why it's so close is because of the handball rule.
Yeah,
because the handball rule is the end of it's from your, I think it's your armpit across.
Yeah, to like sort of sleeve-ish area.
So you can score with that part. So that's why it's
shoulder.
Yeah, so that's why it's drawn. The line's drawn there. So it was all a bit. I always think that when I see people ranting and raving about it, it's like you're saying this, but then you're thinking you're going, "Oh, VAR out, VAR out, VAR out," but it's not VAR that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the only reason why it was an offside is because of the handball rule.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it would be easier for people. I only watch Arsenal fan TV. I don't watch other teams. Going back to Arsenal for a second. No, you see them complaining, like I said, about the tie thing with the red card. It would be easier for them if VAR didn't exist. But if VAR didn't exist and then they, I don't know, conceded a goal and it was offside, they would want VAR.
Yeah. Well,
they only get annoyed when it's not in their favour.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, if that had been a Wolves player bringing down Aubameyang or someone like that in the same instance, they'd be straight calling for a red card. Red card, red card, red card.
Yeah, tie. Where's the red? Where's the red? Where's the card? Where's the card?
Exactly. Yeah. And as I was saying back to the Southampton game, the only reason why it's so close is because of the other rules.
Yeah, exactly. They have to. Yeah, exactly. They have to accommodate for the other rules. They can't just say, "Oh, well, it's the hand, so it's not offside." Because
yeah.
But yeah, United absolutely whacked them.
They went out there to prove a point, I think.
Well, they had to after the Sheffield, and I
think they did.
Have been playing half decent. They were playing really well at the start. Well, they dropped off a little bit.
Well, they haven't won a game. I think they haven't won a game they haven't won past 3 games. So it's not ideal.
No, they are struggling a little bit more now. They've lost their last 4 games.
But I'm gonna say I think they'll start to they'll pick up now, just like they did against Leicester.
I think a mid-table finish.
Yeah,
higher than they are now, but not too high.
But then again, I think the scoreline also did help with the fact that 2 players did get sent off.
Oh yeah, definitely. That first, I think the
first one was definitely a red card though.
I don't even know what he was trying to do.
But and the worst thing is, I feel for him again because that was it was his debut.
Well, he played 1 minute of the last game.
Yeah, but it just hasn't really.
But this was his full. I know.
Yeah,
this was his full debut.
So at the moment, he's only played 3 minutes of the Premier League.
Yeah, over 2 games.
And he got a start in the second.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what he was trying. McTominay clearly knew what he was doing and angled his foot downwards, whereas that player just went straight through and just absolutely clattered him. But
considering when you see on Match of the Day, I think it was when McTominay's on the floor getting some treatment, you see the marks on his legs.
It's like with that Højbjerg.
Yeah,
when he had them massive gashes down the middle of his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not all. People aren't faking injuries all the time. Sometimes challenges are dangerous.
But then it goes the other way. It's like then you've got players who are faking, and then you've got players like Højbjerg, for example, when he wanted to play on.
Yeah, he wanted to just carry on. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shows great. It shows determination to just get up and carry on.
Well, it shows character. Do you think there's a look at? Oh no, I'll stop. I was going to bring back Arsenal. I'll stop. I just
Living
with
in
Arsenal
your
fan
head
TV, it
rent-free.
just yeah, just Arsenal just trigger me because of AFTV. I'll just move on. I don't want to keep bringing up Arsenal all the time.
It was good. It was good to see Dan James get on the score sheet at the end.
Did you see? I saw a clip of when Dan James scored. McTominay was like, "Get the ball," because he wanted to get 10.
It wouldn't surprise me. Well,
Yeah,
because then if they'd got 10, it'd have been a record breaking.
The biggest win in Premier League history. I know, but I mean, take 9. We did it in 1995. 26 years later, do it again. Maybe in another 26 years, we'll do it again.
Well, maybe in 26. So maybe it's another 26 years. You might actually break it.
Hopefully, we'll win the league.
Like I said, this season's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I think City will win it. To be fair,
City 47, first. United second at 42, Leicester third 40. United second 44, Leicester third 42, Liverpool fourth 40, fifth West Ham on 38, Everton sixth on 36, Tottenham on in seventh 33, Chelsea eighth 33, Villa 9th 32, and Arsenal 10th 31.
mm-hmm.
There's
not a massive gap between first and fourth, but I think if City win their game at hand, and if they just continuously, because there's no doubt Man United are going to drop points. Liverpool probably drop even more points, and City and Leicester will.
Well, don't. I was going to say, don't Liverpool and City play each other this weekend?
Yep.
So you got potential for them to drop points there.
I mean, realistically, I'd still want City to win.
Oh yeah, I think City will win that one, but that we need to save that. Save it. Don't no more. Save it. We'll move on. We'll move on. And then obviously, last night's matches. So you got Burnley. You got City beating Burnley 2-0. That was always going to happen.
Yeah, sort of standard.
Yeah, Leicester beating Fulham 2-0.
Standard again.
Everton beating Leeds 2-1.
A little bit of a surprise considering Leeds' form and Everton's form. But, I mean, you couldn't deny it. Leeds can just crumble. Not crumble, but, they can do amazing one game.
This is what I think Leeds, Sheffield United, Villa is another one. I know Villa are doing better than the other two. I think some of them are the sides that lack, that really are affected by no crowds.
Yeah, true.
Because Ellen Road is a tough place to go if the fans are there.
Yeah.
Because of how close it is and how intimidating it feels. Because it's almost like for example, Old Trafford. Because Old Trafford is it's an older stadium, so the fans aren't meters away from the pitch. It's very close. Yeah. Everything's on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like I said, I think Villa is another one.
They're still doing okay for it, though.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Villa is still doing well. But
that's why West Ham are doing so well, because they're used to not being so close to the fans anyway.
and then obviously Sheffield United is, I think, are struggling without the fans because they were. Sheffield is all even whether it's Wednesday or I know it's Wednesday and they've had point deductions and weren't doing so well, this season and a couple of seasons. But Sheffield in general, either one is a very tough place to go when there's fans.
But would you say that
Go on.
I was going to say is that but you could say even if fans turned up next week, would you say they'd still have a positive attitude towards Sheffield United?
I think they would, because it's a case of it's not necessarily. Obviously, don't get me wrong, like last season, for example, was a great season for them, getting that high. But I think they understand that Sheffield United aren't going to go to them heights all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's all. I think it's more all about being realistic. Because obviously, like I said, like they had the great season, the first season, and obviously and like you saw in the second half of the season when they were dropping points when it was no fans, how much it had affected them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if there were fans, said for example next week, I think there'll be a bit of a boost because it's like you've got people up behind you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like all the I think Dortmund have they've I think they've retired the number 12 shirt because it's for the fans.
Oh right. Oh right. Yeah.
So you know and some people have said that it's the fans are almost like 12 man because it's like they're pushing. You know, it's behind the team. They're driving the team forward. And I think, like I said, I think they'd be happy with what they would be getting if they were to turn up next week because it's all about being realistic.
I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose you'd be a bit stupid if the first game you came to, you were slagging off the team.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, that would be pointless. Let's see if the Arsenal fans do it.
No. Always find a way to bring Arsenal back.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, West Ham beating Villa 3-1. Jesse Lingard 2 goals.
Two terrible goals that the keeper should have saved.
I was literally about to say he should have saved them. He should have saved them.
The first one, he actually did a detriment to John McGinn that was sliding on the line. Yeah. He was sliding behind him, and then because it bounced up. But that second goal, I don't even know. I don't know why he sort of moved his body out of the way to palm it. He could have just punched it or just anything, put it back into play. I mean, that even though that's not a good thing, put it back into play rather than pushing it literally into the top corner.
Well, I think if you'd have pushed it back into play, you know, you've got the people to kind of gather it up. You've got Mings to gather it up. You got some of the bigger defenders to just come and mop it up.
That was, just what he did was definitely not the right thing to do. But I mean, Martinez has been pretty solid throughout the whole season, so there can't really be, it can't really be a negative thing for him to do that once.
No, I think it all just comes down to decision making in those split seconds. Because there's always going to be times when someone makes a bad decision, no matter who it is.
Well, yeah, he just made that wrong decision and it led to a goal. You know, other players make it. You move on. They have to move on. Yeah. There's no other choice. You can't. There's no point harping on about
it. Thomas Souček getting another goal.
He looks like a world beater. He looks every time West Ham play, he's either scoring a header or I don't get how he's in the box all the time.
I think it's because David Moyes said it himself. I think it's because he sees. I think Souček. People have said he's like Fellaini, but I don't like.
No, it's not.
Like Moyes said, he's a Cahill kind of player, making late runs into the box, always popping up for headers and things like that. You know, I think he's just happy to keep the team going.
But it's weird. I'm assuming they're in reference to Tim Cahill, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird with him.
Not Gary Cahill.
I assume that. But Gary Cahill just running into the box every 10 seconds. But with Tim Cahill, it's weird because Souček's a centre defensive mid or supposed to be, but then Cahill's like a striker cam or centre forward or whatever. It's just I just find it odd that I think yesterday, who was it? I think Lingard or Antonio was like in the corner. And then they crossed it in and Souček was in the box. And I was just thinking, he was in the box before Antonio had even got into the position. And I just thought, he's got so much energy to just run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, he's supposed to just be a central midfielder, whether that be attacking or defensive either. He just can play anywhere.
He ain't going to be there for much longer. I could definitely see him joining Dortmund. I think he'd be a very good player for Dortmund. Maybe not as a replacement for Witsel, but just a better version of Witsel.
Well, Witzel's getting on a bit now, eh?
Well, yeah, I think he's like 30, 31.
So yeah, he could go to somewhere like Dortmund.
Souček's what? 20?
Or some of the other, not necessarily top European teams. Like you couldn't see him going to. Yeah, Monaco could be one. or even
Inter.
Yeah, into AC.
Yeah, I think Inter would need him more because who
Yeah,
have Inter got? CDM,
Brozovic.
Golan, Brozovic. Oh yeah, Vecino I think as well. But I think they could benefit a lot off getting a
Yeah,
Souček, especially for scoring goals as well, because their midfielders don't really contribute to goals.
yeah. I think it just all depends on. Well, it depends on whether he not necessarily because my guess is he's liking West Ham.
Yeah,
I think it's whether or not he's completely settled on West Ham.
I think he is at the moment.
I think it helps with Kufal being there
Yeah, definitely.
because I think that's one of his. That they
Again,
both came from the same.
He's doing very well.
Yeah, I'll tell you one player who I thought wasn't who I thought when he first joined at West Ham on loan, Craig Dawson.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit of an odd decision considering how old he is.
And from the Championship being 30, was he 33, 34?
No, 30. But still, he's not really.
He's only 30.
But he's not really. He's played. He's played in the Premier League before, but he's not really.
He's not looked as good.
Yeah, he's not looked this good before.
Yeah, I know.
Because I know him from Rochdale coming through the academy.
Of course you do.
And then he was bought. He was bought by West Brom.
Yeah, that's where I know.
And then he's gone on, gone on to Bolton. Didn't play that much at Bolton. And he's played quite a lot of games for West Brom. He's played 200, nearly 230 nearly 230 games.
Yeah.
Obviously now he's left and gone to he was at Watford, and now he's on loan to West Ham from Watford. So
he likes the W teams, doesn't he?
Mm.
West Brom, Watford.
Yeah. It's just a bit. I always thought it was a bit of an odd move.
I didn't realise he was that young.
Well, I thought Moyes would have gone for someone a little bit bit younger.
But who?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like someone around to be honest with you, someone from the Championship or someone like Davis, who's signed for Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch the Championship, so I don't really know who. I'm aware of players, but I don't know how they play.
Or for example, Ben White. I know he's at Brighton, and Brighton wouldn't let him go.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought they'd have gone for someone like that.
But maybe he was just getting Dawson as a backup to Balbuena, and then realised actually Dawson's better than Balbuena.
Yeah, maybe.
But I didn't realise he was only 30. I thought he was pushing mid-30s. They might even sign him.
Well, I don't think there's anything at the moment.
Because at the end of the season, you think he's going where?
I think he's going at the end of the season. I think at the moment he's going. At the moment he's going back to Watford. Okay. However, obviously that could change because I don't know what the rules. I don't know what his loan is. I don't know whether it's just a loan or whether it's like a loan with an optional fee or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, he's been a good player. He's a good player. It's just I've never seen him play this good.
Yeah, he always seems to just mix in with the crowd. When he was at West Brom, he'd concede goals. You'd think, oh, he's just an average player. But now he's at West Ham. I think he's got something to prove. Yeah. Because he's 30. He's not of retirement age. He's not of Championship level. He's probably better than that, and he wants to try and prove himself. And there isn't much better than that West Ham team because he's got defensive support from the players in front. He's got a good goalkeeper behind him. He's got another solid partnership in Ogbonna and good left back and right back. So he's in it. Whereas in that West Brom team, I think he had Jonas Olsen partnering him for a majority of the time.
Yeah.
Right back, Danny Simpson. I think he was at West Brom for a little while.
Yeah, it would have been Simpson. Yeah.
And left back, Neom.
Yeah, and then it would have been goal.
Ben Foster.
Yes, it would have been. It would have been.
So that's when you look at it, that's not horrible, but
it's,
that is a championship
yeah,
defence. Whereas the defence that West Ham have at the minute is a Premier League one.
yeah.
And he fits in that quite comfortably. They're all sort of his ability in that team at the moment, whereas in that West Brom team, they were just slightly under his ability. So they made him look worse in comparison, whereas now he's playing at the level he probably was at West Brom, but because he's got players around him that are as good as him, it makes the whole defence look really good.
Yeah, true. That is true.
Just spitting facts, to be honest.
and then the last game, Liverpool lost to Brighton.
Man like Azate.
I mean,
forget Mo Salah. You want that Egyptian in your team.
He wasn't a bad. He's not been a bad player all season, really. He's not really played much. Did you say he was Egyptian?
I meant Iranian.
Do you want to change that? Because you're nowhere near it.
Is he not African?
No.
Tunisia.
No, that's in Africa. Wrong continent. Colombian.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he says he's Colombian. He hasn't played bad.
Have you ever seen a Colombian that looks so Egyptian? He looks like he could be Salah's cousin.
But then again, there's like I said, he's not played bad. But when he's been there, he played last season. He played 19 games. He assisted. He started 12. He got an average rating of 6.5.
Oh, his name's Alzate. I called him Azate.
Yeah. This season he's only played 9 games. Started 6. He's got an average rating of 6.6. This just like now. He's only scored 1 goal for Brighton though. In the league, obviously he has scored more in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the players at Brighton are good players. Like you,
yeah.
But I don't think it helped Liverpool the fact that they went for a rotating.
I said that last week, that if you take out half your team and replace them, it don't work.
Yeah, no.
It just shows. Even to Brighton are probably one of the most underwhelming teams to watch and one of the least attacking teams in the league. And if you lose to them, you've got to question yourself.
Well, Solly March played well.
He's always been playing well from. He's always been a noticeable player.
He was gonna leave, wasn't he? And he was gonna get a big money signing at some point. Was it a couple of seasons ago or something like that?
I can't remember where it was. Arsenal?
I think it was Arsenal. I think it was Arsenal. It was either Arsenal or Tottenham, one of the two.
Might have been Tottenham.
But I think he was linked with that. And I think also as well, Brighton have now got a solid keeper in net as well.
Oh, what's his name?
Roger Sanchez.
That's it. I mean, I've only seen maybe 2 games of him, but he looks all right. I mean, I thought Matt Ryan was a decent keeper, but
but then again,
I thought he was all right.
I know I've said this a lot, but he was at Rochdale last season. Yeah, he was at Rochdale last season. Do you remember when Roger Sanchez?
Jesus, that's a big step up.
Well, he was in the under-23s at the time.
So he's gone from the under-23s to Brighton to playing first-team football?
Pretty much, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because he was the goalkeeper when Rochdale played United.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the keeper that played in the United game.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I think Brighton have got a good unit. I know I say this. I don't say it about a lot of players. A lot of teams. But when you actually look at it, you've got players who understand each other really well.
That's true. they're just so, I don't know, there's just something about Brighton that's just so boring and underwhelming.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But then again, I think it comes down to being able to defend as well. Because they you know, they have got attacking options, you know, in Morpé, Trossard, you know, and Solly March, for example. So they can attack. It's just, it's wet. I think it's more, it's almost like a Tottenham kind of thing where it's counter attack, but they aren't able to counter attack as much because of
that's true.
Because of how, not necessarily how they defend, but because of the teams they come up against.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think overall it was a good game. It was a good game for them, for Brighton, because, you know, kept the clean sheet, which recently, obviously, I say recently, but, you know, Liverpool haven't been great, but you know, they have been able to score goals. So it, you know, it shows Brighton's defensive abilities to keep the clean sheet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it was a good game for him overall.
Yeah, definitely.
So looking to for this is tonight. So tonight's game is Tottenham versus Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I think, has got a Tottenham win written all over it.
I think, I don't really know, because I think that both teams have been underwhelming. Tottenham have been better at times, but then Chelsea have got results. I would say a draw. I think 2-2. I think Tottenham will score early, Chelsea will come back, and then Tottenham will score sort of late on.
I mean, we don't know what Chelsea are like under Tuchel properly at the moment. Obviously, they won again. They drew against Wolves, which was his first game, and then they won against Burnley. But then again, he's not. This is his third game, you know, and he's coming up against Jose Mourinho, who's who you could say is pretty experienced in the Premier League.
But I think that Mourinho will probably just sit back for a draw, don't you?
See, I think Mourinho will be looking at it thinking we can get something from here. Because it wouldn't surprise me if, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a Tottenham sort of it wouldn't be like Tottenham United levels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it won't be that kind of scoreline. I think it'd be closer than that. But I could see Tottenham winning it sort of by 2 goals or 3, by 2 goals maybe.
I think that's quite generous. I think a draw would probably be most likely.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, mate.
Cheers.
Saturday's games. So we'll start off with the early kickoff, which is Aston Villa versus Arsenal.
I mean, Villa are going to win it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think it'd be.
Villa 2-0.
I think it'd be a Villa win 2-1 though. I think Arsenal will score. I think Arsenal will score, and it'll be almost like. I think they'll score, and then it'll be Villa. I think Arsenal will score first, and then Villa will just come back and just. It'll be like Ollie Watkins will score, and someone else, and then I don't know, and then El Ghazi or someone like that.
Well, Leno's out, and then David Luiz is obviously out as well. So is Gabriel fit?
I don't think so.
So they're going to play Holding and.
Well, they don't I don't know.
Xhaka maybe.
Unless they go 3 at the back.
Well, then put Tierney and Bella in.
Yeah.
That's pretty risky, though.
But if that's
I think Tierney would be able to deal with it, but I don't think Bellerin would be able to.
But I think it all just depends on who you get or what they can do.
I think it'd be less risky to put Xhaka in centre back.
Yeah. Just
for one game.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think Villa will win that.
So do I.
Burnley versus Brighton. This has got this. I
I
think this has got a draw.
I think 1-0 Brighton.
See, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Burnley definitely struggle for goals. I know Brighton do as well, but I think Brighton, maybe Connolly, could get a goal.
Yeah.
I think it would just be a very boring, dead game. Brighton will probably score within the first 20 minutes, and then nothing will happen.
Yeah, I think it's similar, but I think Burnley, it'll be I think it'll be sort of, you won't see anything for like the first half, and then all of a sudden the second half, it'll be going either way, and it'll be like Burnley will get a free kick or a corner in like the 50th minute. Tarkowski or me or even Chris Wood will just come up, edit, bang in the back of the net, and then it'll go back up the other end. It'll be someone like Trossard or Borpe, and it'll just be almost like this, like the goal we scored against Tottenham. It'll just be a pass around and then just into the back of the net.
Yeah,
I think it'll just. Like I said, I think it could go. I think it'll go out. But then again, like I said last week, it could go either way depending on how both teams approach it.
that's true. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, and I think Brighton will win. Sorry.
Yeah, I think there's going to be. I don't think there's going to be any more than. There's definitely not going to be any more than 3 goals in that game.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't think it. I think you might see 2 goals.
I'd be surprised if you see 2 goals.
I mean, only time will tell.
True.
Only time will tell. The other 3 o'clock kickoff: Newcastle versus Southampton.
Again, I'd be surprised if you saw a lot of goals.
I think it'll be a Newcastle win, but I don't think it. I don't.
You're wrong.
See, this is the thing. It all depends on how Southampton react to the 9-0.
I think they'll react positively.
They reacted good. They reacted positively last time, didn't it? So they could do it again. But then again, Newcastle coming into this, they won against. They lost against Crystal Palace. I know it was 2-1, but during the weekend they won, didn't they? So I don't know what kind of confidence they've got.
I would say it would finish 2-0 Southampton.
See, I'm thinking 2-1 Newcastle.
We'll have to see. Comment below what you think.
Yeah. Let us know down below what you think of this weekend's game. So you've got Aston Villa versus Arsenal. What's the score going to be? Burnley versus Brighton. What's the score going to be? And Newcastle Southampton. What's the score going to be? Fulham versus West Ham and United versus Everton are all Saturday's games. So let us down below in the comments what you think the scores are. Sunday you've got Tottenham versus West Brom, Wolves versus Leicester, Liverpool versus City, and Sheffield United versus Chelsea. And then on Monday you got Leeds versus Crystal Palace. So let us know down below. What you think. Moving on to the later kickoff on the Saturday, which is the Fulham versus West Ham.
Yeah,
I think this has definitely got a West Ham win written all over it.
I think a draw.
See, I think West Ham could do it. Coming off the back of a 3-1 win.
I think they should do it, but I don't think they'll carry that momentum. I think Fulham, for whatever reason, I think Lookman, Cavallero, and Mitrovic will probably show up, or Decor, Dover, Reed will probably do something. I think potentially 2-2.
There's a possibility. It could be a possibility, but I just think that West Ham will. They'll just carry on. They'll just carry on the way they've been playing, and I think you'll just see Souček and some of the other players. Souček, Antonio, for example. I think that these will just come in to this game, even higher confidence than they already have been. Getting that win against, getting that win during the week.
Yeah, I think going forward, West Ham will look good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Souček will probably score. But then again, I think with the high pressing of Fulham, with the amount of attacking players they've got in their team, I don't think West Ham are going to necessarily be able to deal with it, especially when Cresswell and Kufal attack very often.
Yeah, it is true.
It's going to be hard. Say if they get caught on the counter-attack, they've got Caballero, Decordova-Reid, Mitrovic, Lookman, all to deal with against Craig Dawson and Ogbonna.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. I think quite a high-scoring game for that one.
See, I think a West Ham win, and I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham.
Nice. I'd say 2-2.
And then the final game on a Saturday, United versus Everton.
Right. I know what my score prediction is.
It's not 10-0, is it?
Well, I was going to say 3-1. I think 3-1 to United.
Yeah, I think United will win.
Actually, no, 3-0 because I don't think Everton are going to score. 3-0.
I think United will win, but I think it'd be 2-1.
I'm predicting Fernandes, Martial, and McTominay.
Oh. I think depending on, obviously it depends on who he starts. But I think
to get sent off.
I think it'll be Cavani and Rashford, and the goal for Everton will be Dominic Calvert-Lewin, sort of not necessarily in the last minutes, but when the game's kind of done and dusted.
Yeah,
Everton will get just a consolation goal.
Yeah, I get you. Grab the ball, take it back to kick-off.
Yeah, and it won't really matter.
No, I get you.
And then moving on to Sunday, Tottenham versus West Ham. West Brom, should I say?
Mm-hmm. I think that could be a good opportunity for Tottenham to get quite a few goals.
I was going to say I don't think this has got anything other than a Tottenham win about it.
Yeah, I would say maybe 4-0.
Yeah, I would think 3-4, maybe even 5.
Yeah,
because Big Sam is not going to attack that Tottenham team.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to sit back, and he's just going to soak in the pressure as much as he can.
Yeah,
and the players are just going to be. I think the players will be knackered because I think Tottenham will just be able to just make quick passes here in between all the lines and that.
Yeah, definitely. They're not set up well enough to be able to defend against the counter-attacking abilities of Tottenham.
No, definitely not. And also, I think it just comes down to sometimes, especially with the Tottenham, I think when you've got a gap of the individual quality as well.
Yeah, that's
because you've got Champions League winning players on the pitch for Tottenham.
For West Brom.
No, and then moving on to, so you got Wolves versus Leicester. This one could be, I think could be a tight one.
I think 2-0 to Leicester.
See, I'm thinking 1-0 Leicester. More because of Wolves being set up the way they are. I know they beat Arsenal during the week, but then Arsenal did have 2 men sent off.
Yeah.
But
then Leicester, do they still have Vardy and Ndidi out?
I don't know. I'll have a look.
Because if they do, because with the way they played against, with the way they played against Leeds.
It says they're doubtful. Doesn't say they're actually out.
Right. Well, I still think Leicester will win.
I think it'll be a close one because I think with the confidence of beating Arsenal, I know they beat them with Arsenal had 9 men. I still think that they'll have the confidence to make it a game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 1-0. And then to be honest, the biggest game of the weekend, Liverpool versus City.
Yeah.
This is a top of the table. This is a top half of the table clash.
Definitely.
I think City have got this one. But
Yeah,
I think it'll be close though.
No, I think 3-1 to Man City.
I think it more 3-2.
High scoring game. Yeah.
Yeah, because City have got a good defence, but I think they'll be able, like you saw against West Ham. I think you'll see more of the interflowing bits of Liverpool. You'll see good passes here and there over the ball, over the top balls and things like that. I think it will just be more of a free flowing, and City will just be a case of we're just going to outscore you.
Yeah.
So I just think it'll be something. It'll be, like I said, I think it definitely will be a City win, and I'm thinking sort of 3-2.
Yeah. Okay.
Sheffield United versus Chelsea. It's the late kickoff on the Sunday.
I mean, 3-0 to Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea.
You don't like nil scores, do you?
Only because I just think that Sheffield, especially with Sheffield United, I think obviously they'll set out to defend.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be something like a corner or a free kick or something that Chelsea won't be prepared for. And it'll be someone like McGoldrick or Billy Sharp out of everyone to get the goal.
I just don't see it in that game. I've seen it in other games where I think they could have scored or have scored, but I just think Chelsea's defence is solid. They've got the new manager. They're going to want to impress. I think they'll keep a clean sheet in this one.
See, I just don't. Even though like I said, they've seemed like a solid defence, but I just think that all it takes is them to switch off.
Right.
I don't think that it's going to be like Sheffield United will go ahead straight away. I think Chelsea will be winning the game, and it will just be a case of them switching off and then conceding a corner or a free kick or something, and then, like I said, one of the players to just pop up at the right time for Sheffield United to get the goal.
Yeah,
because I think that's just what Sheffield United will be looking for, really, those kind of opportunities.
Yeah, they can't boss the game. They can't dominate. They're going to have to rely on the set pieces and hope that Chelsea just mess something up, don't communicate, things like that, and just hope they can nip in and get the odd goal and try and settle for a draw. I don't think they'll even approach the game thinking they can win, really.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't think they will either. And then moving on to Monday night, Leeds versus Crystal Palace.
That's a hard one.
I think it's going to be 3-1 Leeds. Maybe even 2-0.
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with you. I think 2-0 Leeds. I think Palace just lack that little bit going forward. The attacking midfielders and the wingers they've got down. They've got them good. It's just the strikers, they don't have one. I mean, they do, but just not a good enough one. I think Batshuayi, everywhere but Palace, he's looked okay.
Yeah.
But it's just, for whatever reason, he's been at Palace for a while. Well, he's been at their 2 different spells, and he just hasn't looked right. But when he's been at Dortmund, when he's been at Chelsea, when he's at Belgium, he looks different, and I don't know why.
I think it's just the way they play, because it's just completely different. Where, like Hodgson's kind of game is kind of direct, almost. Whereas when you see some of the Chelsea games that he was playing in, it was never like, right, the defence has got the ball, they're going to play a long ball to Zaha or whoever, and then we move out. It was always you bait the phases of the attack. I think that's kind of where he plays, like how he plays, because they do that at Belgium. They work out from the defence through the midfield into the attackers to then break forward.
Right.
And I think it's just down to how they play more than anything.
Okay. I don't think Palace will do much going forward. I think Zaha will get frustrated by the defence and the solid formations and just won't be able to do much. And I just think, Leeds will be able to break down the Palace defence a lot more than the other way around.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll either be a 2-0 or it'll be a 2-0 or like a 2, or like a 3-1, 2-1. It won't be too mad, but Leeds will win it.
I think Leeds will win 2-0.
Yeah, more than likely. I'll say the same. And that's it for the weekend.
That took ages.
I know. But the main one we're talking about, January transfers. So the transfer window, we're going to go through each team. I'll let you know of the ins and outs, and then rate them out of 10 to say it's how they've done. And at the end.
So obviously we're rating the potential, not now.
Yes. Or it's more the facts or the deals that they've been able to do, or even some of the deals that they've got out, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Just general business.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So for Arsenal, they brought in Omar Rekik from Hertha Berlin. It was about $500,000. He's another Tunisian midfielder.
Right.
I don't watch the Bundesliga, so I haven't seen much of him. I don't know what he's like. Brought in Matt Ryan from Brighton on loan, and Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid on loan. They're the only ins they've got. So 2 loans and a young. He's a 19-year-old, I think, something like that. That Rekik.
Yeah. So I'm looking at him now.
And then going out, they've had Kolasinac go to Schalke on loan. Obviously, Saliba has gone to Nice on loan. Matt Macy, who's a goalkeeper, has gone to Hibernian. You've had Mesut Ozil terminate his contract. Socrates terminate his contract. I think Mustafi also terminated his contract. So you got 3 high-profile players terminating contracts to leave Arsenal.
Right. So what are you rating? Is it out of 10 or is it like A, B, C?
Out of 10.
I'll go 6.
So don't forget that you got Willett gone to I said Newcastle on loan, and Maitland-Niles have gone to West Brom on loan. So I think outgoing, they've shedded what they needed to.
Yeah, but they haven't replaced them at all.
And that's what I was literally about to say. Even though they've got out what they need to, getting Maitland-Niles, he probably could have stayed at Arsenal, but he wouldn't have played much. I think he was more bothered about getting first team football, and he will get first team football at West Brom. Should I say? Yeah. Same with Joe. Same with Joe Willock.
Yeah, true.
So they've got the people that they've sent out. Kolasinac again wasn't getting first team football. He's going to get first team football at Schalke.
Yeah.
So going out wise, I think they've done good, but like you said, they haven't really done much. I would have expected them to bring in a goalkeeper on a permanent deal.
But I think that's what they're just loaning thingy for now, and then probably going to buy him anyway.
It would surprise me if they do at the end of the season, but I don't understand why you wouldn't just buy him anyway. He's an experienced keeper. The other one for me would have been why would you go and get Matt Ryan when you've got Sergio Romero at United who's not going to play a game?
Presumably, well, I don't think that's more from the Arsenal perspective. I think that although Sergio Romero probably doesn't have the mentality that like Man United fans would have, I still think that he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether they've approached him and he said no, or they just didn't approach him for that reason.
Yeah, maybe.
I think hands down he is a better goalkeeper than Matt Ryan. But again, I think the gap between him and Leno and him and De Gea are closer. So I think he wouldn't go to Arsenal because he would probably think that he should be playing first team football.
Yeah, maybe. Like you, I'd probably say 6. 6 out of 10.
I think, yeah, when you say who they brought in, I think solid, you'd say sort of 7, 8. But then you think who they've got out and the defensive problems they've got now. They've gotten rid of a right back and they've gotten rid of 3 centre-backs. That doesn't make any sense. They've just lost David Luiz. The only ones they've got at the moment are Gabriel and Holding. And Gabriel, I don't think, is available. So they're going to, like Liverpool, they're going to have to play. It just seems odd that they get rid of. I understand why they got rid of Mustafi. I don't know why they got rid of Socrates because I still think he could do something.
Well, he's always there for backup.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It just seems odd to get rid of so many players and free up so much wage, but then not replace them.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to wait, 7 months, 8 months until September to actually do anything. It's odd.
Moving on to Villa, the only in they had was Morgan Sanson from Marseille. Going out, they didn't really have much. They've had a few. Most of them were like young players going to like Chesterfield, Walsall, Weymouth, Hereford. The only really one you had was Conor Hurahan to Swansea on loan. But most of the players going out were young players.
Yeah, I think even though they didn't do much, I think that's automatically a better transfer window than Arsenal.
Yeah.
They didn't bring in. I think they brought in a solid centre mid that has good top flight quality, and I think he's played for France.
Yes, he has.
So he sort of knows what he's doing. Even if he doesn't play for whatever reason, he is a good backup. They haven't let first team players go like Arsenal, so I'd easily say that's a good. It's obviously not amazing because there are areas they can improve, but I'd say it's 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I was going to agree about. It was going to be between a 7 or 8. So maybe more towards 7 though.
Yeah.
So moving on to Brighton, they had 3 ins. Percy Tau from Anderlecht on loan, Evan Ferguson from Bohemians, and Moses Caicedo from Independiente del Valle. They're from Venezuela, I think. And then similar to Villa, most of the outgoings were young players. There's the only exceptions are Matt Ryan and Glenn Murray and Bernardo. Bernardo's gone to Salzburg on loan. Obviously, Matt Ryan's gone to Arsenal and Murray has gone to Forest. It says undisclosed, so I'm going to presume it wasn't that expensive.
I think that's sort of in between what Villa has done and what Arsenal have done. It seems that they've gotten rid of the youngsters on loan, which is good. They've brought in some youngsters by the sound of it, but then they've gotten rid of some experienced players and haven't replaced them.
Yeah,
like the left back Bernardo. I mean, I didn't think he was that good. They should never have bought him, but he had first team. He had ability, and he was okay. Matt Ryan, obviously, first choice goalkeeper. Obviously, they're deciding to go with the Sanchez guy instead, which I think is a better move. But who have they even? Oh no, to be fair, they've got Luke Steele, I think, as backup, who is decent. So I think getting rid of Ryan was probably the best choice. I'd say 7 again, but like you said, it's for Villa potentially closer to 8. I think Brighton probably closer to 7, if anything.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I'd stick with the 7. Burnley.
I think they did okay.
Yeah, Burnley again. They did a few. They did 2. They get the 2 ins. Ben Ward from Hastings and Dara Costello from Galway. I think they both of them were not necessarily for the first team. I think that's just a case of boosting the youth team.
Yeah.
And then going out again, it was going out was only youth players. So you got Bobby Thomas going to Barrow, Lucas Jensen going to Bolton, and Chris Conclark going to Fleetwood. So they didn't do it. They didn't do great, but then I don't really think Burnley needed to do anything really.
But I think there's definitely positions. I think we'll see in September, but I definitely think there were probably players available that they could have got. I mean, they're not very strong in midfield. They lack I mean, the only place where I think they're pretty solid is goalkeeper and defence. Even though they've got a lot of attacking options, they're all different. Ward, Wood, and Jay Rodriguez are all different options. They don't offer a lot going forward, despite having three different sort of attackers. I can't think of someone they could have got, but I definitely think they should have got something going forward, because they don't offer many goals, and that's the problem with them. They don't concede many, but they don't score many. They should have potentially looked for either a young up and coming striker. Who's the one that plays for Villa?
Who scored? Who scored?
Courtney House.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Louis Barry. Because Louis Barry,
even him.
Because Louis Barry was the one I think he scored against
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah. Even him. Courtney House, I think, is a centre back. I don't know who I was on about, but yeah, Louis Barry. I think. I mean, he's not going to play at Villa. He only played that game because it was Cup.
Yeah.
I think you play. I don't know what formation do Burnley play. Do they play two up front?
4-4-2, pretty much.
Well, that would suit Louis Barry down to a T. Playing next to an experienced, striker. I think Louis Barry and Jay Rodriguez, or Louis Barry and Ashley Barnes, could be a decent partnership. And then you always have Chris Wood to come on, like Andy Carroll at Newcastle, as a different option up front to score the headers. I don't think they did anything wrong, but I think they could have done more in terms of their first team.
Yeah, I think overall, I think it's probably like a 5. They didn't do badly, but they didn't do that great.
I'd say 6, because I don't think they did worse than Arsenal.
We'll call it 5.5 then. We're smack bang in the middle, both. Chelsea didn't bring anybody in. Obviously, having a new manager and all probably didn't help. But not only that, the manager didn't come in at the start of the transfer window.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't have the chance. But the outgoings, Charlie Brown, he's left. He would be another one that didn't play a game. Lucas Piazon, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Never played a game for Chelsea. Probably. I think he has played one game.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think that was the 8-0 win against Villa. And he
take a penalty and miss it.
Something like that.
I genuinely think he took a penalty and he missed it.
And then obviously Danny Drinkwater went to Kasim Pasar on loan in Turkey. And the other high profile one is Tomori going to AC Milan on loan.
I think that's 8 out of 10. I think the Piazon, I mean, he never played.
Yeah,
so he was get rid of him.
Yeah, you just need to get rid of him. And Charlie Brown, he was pretty a young player, so I could understand him going. He could see that he wasn't going to get any games. Danny Drinkwater was never going to. To be honest with you, Danny Drinkwater needs to be off the wage bill. I think he just needs to. Yeah, he needs to go. He's not going to play. Not when you see the first team now.
Yeah, he's definitely not playing. They'll sell him probably in the summer, or just get rid of him, just release him.
And
I think Tomori is very beneficial to go to AC Milan.
Yeah,
that's a good sort of fit for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it'll be, you've got players around him that are experienced, and I think the Italian leagues is good for him at the moment, especially for him as his age and things like that. It'll help him mature and help him understand more about the game.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's probably the best business so far. So I'd put that as a 9.
See, I think it's more of an 8. I don't think it's.
Wait, have we given an 8 to anyone yet?
No.
I'll give him an 8 then.
We'll go for it. We'll go for an 8 then. So Palace, they brought in Jean-Philippe Matea. I'm going to say. I don't know if that's right. On an 18-month loan from Mainz.
Right.
Again, outgoings, mostly young players. You have Rob Street went to Torquay, Nia Kirby gone to Tranmere, Brandon Pierrick gone to Kilmarnock. So youth players, and then the only other one is Max Meyer had his contract terminated.
I think that was a good decision. I think 7 again. I don't think they could have brought anyone in, but I think there are probably players that they could have gotten rid of more, like Max Meyer, who they brought in and just isn't the right fit.
Yeah.
Getting rid of some youngsters on loan is always a good thing, just to free up some space in the squad for other potential.
Yeah.
I'd say 7.
Yeah, I'd probably sit with that. I'd say with a 7. And then moving on to Everton. Everton, the only one they brought in is Josh King on loan. Again, I don't like.
Odd move, I thought.
I understand why they've done it. Because of how he can play and things like that. But I don't know whether that loan has like I've said before. I don't know whether that loan has any optional fees, any mandatory fees, that kind of thing. So whether they can buy him out.
I never understood why he's always linked with Premier League clubs? Because to me, he just screams Championship.
He's a good player on his day, but he needs to be on his day.
Yeah, but that doesn't make Premier League quality then.
I know, but when he's on his day, he is Premier League quality. That's the issue. Not the issue, but that's one of the things. But when he had good games for Bournemouth, like when they went down, he had good games.
I don't remember the last time I saw him and thought, wow, he's a really good player.
He is a good. I think he's a good player.
If you compare him to Callum Wilson, who was at Bournemouth, every day of the week I take Callum Wilson.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd take Callum Wilson over Josh King, but I think that he needs to. I don't think he needs to be necessarily.
He's older than Callum Wilson as well.
Yeah, I think he's only a couple of years older though. But yeah, 28. I think he needs to be in the Premier League, but I don't think he needs to be. I think he needs to be at a sort of mid to bottom table.
Wait, I'm looking at his stats now. Wait there. All right, so obviously United, he never played a game.
Yeah.
He went to Preston, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Hull City, Blackburn, but I'm seeing what he's done in the Prem. So he's already played one game for Everton. Fair enough. So in the Premier League for Bournemouth, he played. Well, I'll include last season as well. So for Bournemouth in total, he played 184 games and scored 53 goals. So he scored 50 goals in the Premier League for Bournemouth.
It's not too bad.
But he only had 2 seasons out of the 5 where he scored more than 10 goals.
But then he wasn't necessarily a striker. He was sort of a winger. Sort of. He could play striker, but he was more of a winger. Who cut in.
He's very overrated. I don't even think he's rated, but when people say, "Oh, he's here to here to here," I don't even think he should be in the Premier League.
I disagree, but like I said, I just don't think he was. I don't think he was top. Top half Premier League. I think I could see him going to someone like Southampton, for example.
But then I don't see how he gets into the team.
I didn't. I was just that kind of like sort of mid to bottom table. That kind of, not really pushing for
Arsenal.
for. I just don't. I don't. Unless Everton are thinking bringing him as a backup to Richarlison, some of the other players, Sigurdsson.
I'm seeing who Everton strikers. Well, Moise Keane's only on loan, isn't he?
Yes, but I would presume that PSG will. I'm going to presume that PSG will make that permanent because he is playing pretty well at PSG.
He's scoring a lot of goals. So the forwards at Everton are Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Josh King. Now it won't be James Rodriguez and Bernard. But obviously, the only strikers really are Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin.
So unless they're bringing him in as a backup for both of them, because he likes to play both of them together.
Yeah.
Because Richarlison will play off to one of the sides.
I mean, it makes sense to get him, but again, I don't think they. With 29, he is only going to be a backup.
Yeah. We need to. I don't mean to push, but we need to move on because we're going to spend too much time on this.
Go on then, sorry.
So the outgoings, again, most of them are young players, but they are the getting rid of some, not necessarily getting rid of them, because Yannick Bolassi's gone to Middlesbrough on loan. Cheikh Tosun has gone to Besiktas on loan. John Joe Kenny has gone to Celtic on loan. The only one who's left permanently is Jonas Lossell. He's gone to Midtjylland.
Nice.
And and everyone else is more younger players. Going to Shrewsbury, Blackburn, Blackpool, Preston, Derby.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a Damis Egorola. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologise if I pronounce that wrong. Who went to Lyon for? It just says undisclosed, so he's gone permanently. I didn't really know. I don't know much about him.
No, me neither.
I think overall Everton have done. They haven't done amazing.
I'd give him a 6.
See, I'd give him a 5. I'd say a 5.5 then. Fulham, bringing in Josh Madger on loan from Bordeaux. He's a striker. He was at Sunderland, I believe, before he went to Bordeaux.
Okay.
Was tipped to be quite good. He was actually really good for Sunderland. I don't know how he's performed at Bordeaux. Going out, you've got most of the players again going out on loan, apart from Matt O'Reilly's on to MK Dons. But yeah, not really. There's been a few. There's Abukar Kamara has gone to Dijon, and that's probably the most high profile one.
I'll give him a 5 then.
Yeah, I was thinking a 5. Leeds didn't bring anybody in, but again, I don't think they needed to.
No.
Again, this is another one that's the majority of. There's only 2 players that have left permanently. The other ones have gone on loan, so they're younger players. So they've got you've got players going to Bradford, Salford, and Northampton, and then you've got 2 players, J. Roy Grott, who've gone to Osnabrück. And Connor Shaughnessy, I think that's right. Gone to Rochdale. He's both of them are undisclosed. So I think it was just a case of the ones that have left. I think they're just ones that they knew they weren't going to play.
Yeah.
And again, I think like we said before, getting younger players out, it's a good one.
6.
But I think overall it's about 6.
Yeah, I'd say 6. I'd agree.
Because they didn't bring anybody in, but they haven't lost much either, I don't think.
No.
Leicester City, they have brought in Matty James from Barnsley on loan. Don't know much about him. And I don't know much about Filip Benkovic from Cardiff on loan. I don't know much about them either. Well, I presume Matty James is one of their players because he has then, unless it's a different player, he has gone back out on loan to Coventry. And I presume that Matty James and Filip Benkovic are their players, and they've been bought back from their loans to go back out on loans.
Yeah, they are. Matty James is a Leicester player, and Benkovic was Celtic, I think, last season on loan.
Yeah, so you've got
he's a centre back, right?
Yeah, most of the people have left are all younger players going on loan, apart from Slimani, who's gone to Lyon on a free. But everyone else is pretty much a younger player that's gone on loan. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with
I think.
Yeah, I was going a 6 or 7. Obviously, Damari Gray left. Has gone to Leverkusen. I forgot about that one.
Oh, what, on loan?
Permanent.
Damn. How much for?
I don't know. They're undisclosed, so.
It's quite a ballsy move. I thought he's still only, 23, 24? He's still not very old.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, I didn't even know that. I never even heard of that.
Yeah,
all right, I'll put it down to a 6 then, based off that, because I think they should have kept him.
Yeah, I think. But then again, it depends. Like I said, we don't know how much it was, so I'm going to presume it was enough for them to say
Yeah,
yes.
but
Because I
it's not going
think,
to be crazy because he doesn't play. I
yeah, I
think
don't.
maximum it would be 10, 15.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't think, Harvey Barnes now, look at Harvey Barnes. If he was
Yeah,
to go, you'd probably be saying 40.
yeah, yeah. I think a six for them.
I think 6 as well then, yeah.
Liverpool, obviously bringing in
Boo!
bringing in Ben Davies from Preston, 1.6
Yeah,
mil, and then Ozan Kabak from Schalke with on loan with an option to buy for 18 million.
yeah, I still think that's
Going
good.
out of all younger players except Minamino, who's gone to Southampton.
Mhm.
So you've got Liam Miller going to Charlton, Adam Lewis going to Plymouth, and Step van der Berg gone to Preston.
I'll give them an 8. I think they've not sorted the centre back position out because we don't know how they're going to play, but they've got a first teamer in Ozcan, is it?
Ozan, yeah.
Ozan, and then a good backup in the Preston guy. Going out, I think Minamino was a good option to get rid, but I think obviously they loaned him out, but I think Origi potentially could have gone out on loan as well, or even sold because I really think they don't need him.
Yeah,
So that's why
unless they're just keeping him there as because Origi he has turned up in big games, but he needs to
true.
turn up in all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give them an 8. I think they had a good window. They rectified some of their mistakes, and they've even got rid of Minamino on loan to get him a bit more experience because I think he could be a very good player in the future.
Yeah, because I think he just needs that little bit more of adapting to the Premier League.
Yeah, you can see that when he's been at Liverpool, he's done okay. He's done all right.
Yeah, so I think it's 6 or 7. I'll go
I'd
with
say an
7.
8. So I'll say 7 as well then. 7.
Okay. Man City, they've only brought one player in, but then in Kwando Bar from Rochdale, but the deal has been agreed for next season. He is a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. He's 17, 18, should I say. He's played well for Rochdale. So I think he's more one for the future. I think he will fit into that. I think he will fit into the City sort of, what's it called? Oh my God. System, that kind of, you know what I mean? Their mentality.
Yeah.
Because he's young and he'll be able to play. Going out, they haven't really. They've got rid of players that weren't playing for them. Nathaniel Ogbetter gone to Shrewsbury, Thomas Scott to Port Vale, Kendra Simmons to Birmingham, DiMaggio Phillips to Stoke, and then everyone else is a younger player who's gone on loan. So you've got Morgan Rogers to Lincoln, Taylor Hartwood Bellis to Blackburn, Jaden Braff to Udinese, Arrow Muric to William to, and then you got Patrick Roberts going to Derby. I think all the deals they've done are more for the futures.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that they need to do for the present. I think, like I said, I think it's all for the future. So I think overall, I think I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him 6.
6.5. United, the only in is Amad Diallo from Atalanta, 37 million.
Yep.
But that was agreed last in this summer.
Yeah.
Going out, to Fosu Mensah's gone to Leverkusen for 1.75 million. Rojo has gone to Boca Juniors, and Luca Ericolani has gone to Capri. Most of the other players have gone on loan. So you've got Tati Chong on loan, Tendin Mengi on loan, Max Hager, Ethan Laird. Some of them are mostly younger players. Jesse Lingard going to West Ham. Obviously, I know he's not a young player anymore.
Well, yeah.
I think if Amad Diallo plays like he did against Liverpool's under-23s for the entire time he's at United,
Yeah.
I think he'll be a good. I think 37 million. 37 million. I think probably could have been. I think not necessarily overpaid, but
High for someone
yeah.
that not many people have heard of.
Yes, that's. But
Yeah,
then again,
I was surprised by that price.
But then you could say the same about what happened with Martial.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but yeah. I get what you're saying. But again, goals for Martial, he did score at Monaco compared to Diallo that really hadn't played much at Atalanta before we signed him.
Yeah, true.
But I saw the clips of him against Liverpool. He looks promising. He looks like he's not scared of a name of someone else, and they've actually included him in their Europa League 24-man squad over Greenwood as well.
So
they haven't included Greenwood.
So it just shows you the trust they've got in him.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's because of school.
Oh, probably.
Because he can't be travelling to Czech Republic and Spain and
Russia.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have to do exams and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm assuming that's the reason with Brandon Williams as well, because he's not in the team either.
Yeah, I would presume so.
I can't imagine he would play, but they've included him in the squad. So
yeah, and I think Jesse Lingard going to West Ham on loan, he wasn't going to get any first team football at United at the moment.
No,
especially not with the team that the way it is. No. So I think it was good for him to go to, especially for him to go to a team like West Ham now, who, to be honest, you probably needed him more than they think.
Yeah.
Getting rid of Rojo, who was really keeping up, who was just taking up money on the wage thing.
Mm-hmm. Realistically, I think that, bias aside, and people probably say it's still biased, I think they've probably had one of the better windows.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I think out of the big teams, I think United and Liverpool have probably had the two better windows out of the top teams.
Yeah, I agree. Because
who was the team Who are the teams we gave 8? Was it Villa?
Yes.
I think I gave Liverpool 8 as well, maybe 7. But I think realistically, Liverpool and United have done very well. Liverpool with who they've brought in, and realistically, United of who they've gotten rid of.
Yeah, I think United have got. I think I'll give them an 8.
I'll give them an 8 as well.
So Newcastle bringing in Joe Willock on loan, and then going out, Rolando Aarons, Huddersfield, undisclosed, and DeAndre Yedlin has gone to Galatasaray on a free.
A mistake.
I mean, there's not much really to say about that.
Well, I didn't realise Yedlin had gone out, and I think that's a massive mistake because he's been one of their better players. Who have they got at right back? I'll have a look.
Yeah, I don't know. But bringing in wise, Joe Willock's a good move because getting him experience. But then I think it's a bad move to go for him to bring him in because you've got both Longstaff brothers who play in that position. John Joe Shelby. You've got some good. You've got quite a few players who play in that same position.
Yeah, that's true. I think it was. Yeah, I mean, he should be playing first team football, but I don't necessarily think Premier League is probably his level at the moment.
No.
Even like I said about Burnley in terms of their midfield. Imagine if they'd have got him on loan and Louis Barry on loan. That improves their squad quite a lot.
Oh yeah, and they'll be playing. They'll be playing. Definitely. I think overall for Newcastle, I think that's a 4.
I'd say that's probably one of the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. The players they had at right back, by the way, was Manquillo and Emil Kraft. So they do have right backs. And apparently Isaac Hayden's been playing right back as well.
Oh, okay. But still, yeah, I'm not convinced. I think
No,
a
I'd
4.
say 4. I think, yeah, that's probably the worst we've heard so far.
Sheffield United didn't bring anybody in.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who's gone out is I presume a young player. Reece Norrington-Davis gone to Stoke. George Broadbent gone to Beard Shot, and Michael Verrips has gone to MN.
Right, don't know any of them.
Norrington-Davis, I know, is a left back. I definitely because he was. I know. I keep saying this, but Rochdale, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah,
he is a decent player. Probably one to look out for the future because I think
right.
he's 22, 23.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know about the other two, but again, I think it's just a case of getting him first team football.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think there's much to shout about. So I think a 5.
5, yeah, I'd
Because
agree.
it's just average.
Yeah.
Southampton bringing in Minamino on loan, and then everybody who's gone out is gone out on loan, and again, more for I think younger players other than obviously Jan Valery, who was a first team right back at the time, not anymore, but he's gone out to Birmingham on loan. The only senior player that's gone out on loan is Shane Long to Bournemouth, and I presume that Bournemouth have got him on loan as a replacement for Josh King.
Yeah.
But everyone else is, you got Terry Johnson to Gillingham, Cam Slater to Gillingham, and Jake Voskins to Sunderland. So, I think most of that is younger players.
I'd give that a 7.
Yeah, I'd say 6 or 7. I think more of a 7 though.
Because Minamino is a good player to bring in. Shane Long obviously wasn't playing, and to be fair, he's been there for a while, so he's probably taken up quite a lot of wage. To ship him out even for just half a season would be decent, and probably sell him on next season. So yeah, I think Minamino is a very good signing for them, and probably their attacking options are good enough, but a good young right winger is a good option to bring in.
Yep. So Tottenham, they didn't bring anybody in, obviously, but I don't think they really needed to. Again, most of the players who've gone out are all younger players. So Jabril Akinda, Cambridge, Jack Clark to Stoke, Harvey White to Portsmouth, Sheila Tracy to Cambridge, Troy Parrott to Ipswich. The only big one was Jedson Fernandez, who has gone back to Benfica because he had his loan terminated.
He was only on loan at Tottenham?
Yep.
Well, that was a massive waste of time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he played that often, did he?
I was going to say, I think he played 4, 5, 6 games maybe.
Yeah, probably. I think overall, though, getting some of the younger players first team experience is a good idea.
Like Parrott and who's the winger they bought last season? That you said's gone to Stoke, I think.
Jack Clark.
Yeah, they bought him, and Parrott I think could be potentially first teamers. So yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I don't understand the Gedson Fernandez thing, so I'd say 7. It could have been an 8 if maybe, I don't know. I'd say 7 because they didn't do necessarily anything wrong.
Yeah, I think a 7 is good. West Brom brought in Robert Snodgrass, Andy Lonergan, and by
Lonergan, the goalkeeper.
Yep.
Okay.
And by Diagne, Okay Yokosalu, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles have all come in. Going out, you've got Charlie Austin, QPR on loan, Earl Windsor to Newport on loan, Jonathan Bond to LA Galaxy undisclosed, Raheem Harper, Birmingham on loan, and Sam Field to QPR on loan.
Right.
I think for West Brom, that's a good kind of window for them. Maitland-Niles coming in, young player, has got not necessarily a lot to prove, but can play a lot, especially for the team. Andy Lonergan, experienced keeper, backup. I know he's not played, top tier because he was, backup for Liverpool and that, but he can play. He's a good player. Snodgrass, I think, is a good addition for West Brom. I don't know much about Yokosulu and Digne.
How do you spell that?
Yokosulu.
Yeah, because I recognise that name.
Yok
Yeah.
Uslu. He came from Celta Vigo on loan.
Oh, he's a CDM. Yeah, I know him because of FIFA. I mean, on FIFA, he's 77 rated, so he's half decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do recognise him. This season in La Liga, he's played 12 times. He's got a bit of a discipline issue because he's been booked 3 times and got a red once. So
I guess we'll see whether that carries on in the Premier League, because it is very physical, the Premier League.
But other than Celta Vigo, he's only ever played in Turkey. So
maybe
it could work out. It might be a little solid CDM. He's only 26, so he's not old, but he's got enough experience.
Yeah.
I'd probably say them and Man United are probably the 2 top in terms of doing probably the best. I think they're a very underrated side for getting good, solid players in pretty much every position.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say, like we said with United, I think it'd be an 8.
I'd say they've even done better than United just because the problems they've had. They've brought in Snodgrass, which is undeniably, I think, probably one of their best signings. They've got Maitland-Niles, Lonergan, and Diagne, and that Yokosulu. So they've got an attacking midfielder, a striker, a defensive midfielder, a right back, and a goalkeeper.
So we're saying that West Brom, as it stands, have had the best January transfer window.
Honestly, I think so.
Right.
Because usually whenever a team like West Brom do business, you never heard of them. But every player that they've brought in, I've heard of. And, I mean, they're not terrible. Like, Diagne was from Galatasaray. Yokosulu, Celta Vigo, Maitland-Niles, at Lonergan, Liverpool. Everyone's heard of them. They're not bad signings. They can do a job. They're probably of better quality than Liverpool. So that just shows, that they're probably better signings than what they should have got. So they've done well.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we're right that West Brom did the best, probably done the best at the moment. So I think they would have done the best anyway, really. West Ham.
Yeah, probably they had to.
Yeah, West Ham. Frederick Alves bringing in Frederick Alves, Borg, undisclosed. Said Benrahma making the loan permanent. Jesse Lingard on loan from United. But going out, the Sebastian Haller has left, gone to Ajax. 20 points.
Did you see they left him off the Europa League squad accidentally?
Yes, I did. Sebastian Haller to Ajax for 20.2 million, considering he was their record signing in the summer.
Yeah, they lost about 15 million on him.
Yep. Robert Snodgrass has gone to West Brom, obviously, we've talked about that. Dan Kemp's gone to Leyton Orient, undisclosed. Owen Windsor to Newport loan. Oladapono Offaland to Bolton on loan. Ijai LSA to Cambridge on loan. The only other one is Winston Reid gone to Brentford on loan.
Yeah, I'd give that a solid 7.
Yeah, I agree, 7. Bringing in Jesse Lingard and then getting rid of Hallow. I think didn't want to be there. No. I think he was a good at the time. I think he was a good signing, but I just don't think he gelled well or got settled enough.
Yeah, I don't think players like him can do it in the Premier League anymore. I think United. What am I about? The Premier League is more of a dynamic sort of play than it used to be. It used to be very physical, very tough, but now it definitely isn't that sort of thing. If he wants to succeed, he has to go to a team like Ajax in the Eredivisie or even Ligue 1. I think he can potentially do something. But yeah, I don't think the Premier League is made for that sort of player anymore. Hence why you don't really see 6 foot plus strikers anymore that are successful.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think a 7's good enough. Mm-hmm. Getting rid of players that they didn't necessarily need, and then bringing in players that can do good jobs when they need to. And then finally moving on to the last but not least, Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's brought in William Jose from Real Sociedad on loan. Going out, you've got Ruben Vinagre to Famalicão on loan. Oscar Berg going to Grasshoppers. Terry Taylor to Burton Albion. And Luke Matheson gone to Ipswich.
I'd give that 6 because I think they could have potentially done more.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it wasn't just a striker that they needed. I think they could have potentially got someone in midfield to help them out. Because
I think, like we mentioned last episode, we talked about Diego Costa. I think Diego Costa would have been a good addition to Wolves.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think William Jose is a bad option.
Oh no, yeah, he's not a bad option.
He's probably the younger.
Well, I think that they could have got both because Diego Costa's a free agent.
Yeah, but they only play one up front usually, don't they?
Yeah, but then I guess it also depends on what wage he would want it.
Yeah, William Jose definitely would have been on less.
Yeah.
And I think William Jose, the way he plays is probably very similar to the way Diego Costa plays, using his body, as you saw against Arsenal.
Yeah.
But he would have been cheaper. He's younger. Potentially they're looking at him for loan, maybe get him in the future. You never know. Obviously, they're just looking at loan for when Raul Jimenez comes back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are positions in that team where you would want to strengthen. You'd want to strengthen their age in midfield because who have they got? They've got Yamatinho, who's 32.
Yeah, you got
Neves, who's coming up to probably hitting 30 almost.
Yeah, there's still people. They still could make some business.
Yeah,
like you said, they could work. There's still places they could have got, but then I think keeping hold of some of the players as well, like Connor Cody, for example, just naming some of them. But
I can't imagine where he would go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because people are saying Liverpool just because he was there before, but no, they wouldn't buy an aging centre back. That's not what Liverpool do. Yeah, they wouldn't have ever bought an aging centre back to sort a short-term issue. There's no way.
Yeah, no. And then most of the players going out from Wolves are young players.
Yeah.
So I don't see. I think a 7.
I'll give him a 6.
6.5. So overall, West Brom did the best. Did the best in the transfer window.
Yeah, until they go down, they'll probably still go down. But I
at least
think on paper.
Yeah, at least if they do go down, they'll go down on the Footy Fridays January transfer windows ranking as top.
Yeah, that's number 1. They win this poll. They win this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what matters.
Yeah, they'd rather go down and win this than stay up.
Exactly. Well,
we'll send Sam Allardyce. We'll try and get Sam Allardyce on the show.
Yeah. Comment down below if you want what guests we should bring on. Yeah.
Big Sam, little Sam.
Oh, geez, little Sam. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Little ginger running around at Bolton. Now that I've said that, I probably won't get him on now.
Yeah, you've insulted him. But I think they'll set up their own podcast chatting shit about us.
It'll be like I don't know what they'll call it.
Big and Little Sam.
Yeah, probably. But I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it for this week.
Yep. That was a good long chat.
Because we've been chatting too much stuff for way too long.
Definitely.
Comment down below what you'd like us to talk about next week. Anything else you want us to discuss? Let us know. We'll see if there's anything comes up during the week. Like I said last week, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. For more content, you'll see it every week.
Wait, how many subscribers are we on at the minute? 11.
Yes.
We'll try and hit 20 by next week.
We'll try and hit 20 for next week. Hopefully.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
yeah, so that's yeah. So subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified about every video. Like the video, comment down below what you'd like us to talk about. Comment down below any guests you'd like us to get on the podcast.
Wait, who could we actually get as a guest?
I don't know.
What about? Oh no, I was going to say, what about what's his face? The one from Chelsea, the one that went our university.
Oh, Lewis.
Yeah. I mean, he probably wouldn't be against it, but
yeah. I mean, when we get a bit more famous, maybe, because that is Chelsea. that Chelsea YouTube channel is getting big.
It's getting bigger, yeah.
So
I can imagine he'd come on and like try and like say, "Oh, how much you offering?" He'd want a fee. I can imagine.
Yeah, probably. But I've been Aaron. He's been Declan.
I've been Aaron.
Right,
Declan.
right, nice. You got anything else to say?
No, I think that was good. A long chat. We talk for ages about the littlest thing. We go off on tangents, but yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. Subscribe.
I mean, that's what people want to hear. We go off on tangents. This is just a natural conversation.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, we have been having these conversations at the pub before.
Yes.
Prior to lockdown.
Yes. Definitely. No rules broken. And that'll be it. Thank you for watching. Then we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.